So guys, this is EcBoy from TeamCalamity. This will be the first of a new series that I'm doing, just discussing clans in Vanguard and decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll be doing some Yu-Gi-Oh! Ones as well. Just talking about how they fare against the meta and strengths and weaknesses of the deck. For the first one that I'm going to do today, I'll be looking at Narukami, just because it's the first proper deck that I've actually had, so it's kind of sentimental, but also because there's a fair amount to talk about. They aren't OP, so it won't just be like they're amazing, they'll win every game, like, you know, like Kagero or something, but they also aren't too terrible to discuss. Um, so yeah, Narukamis. Decent clan, a bit of background knowledge. It's in the second series of the anime. Kai, the guy who uses Kagero in the first season, uses this clan because they all have to start using new clans, get like sealed away in Cray or whatever. Just an excuse for them to launch new clans. Narukami it has similarities to Kagero. Like this is a Berserk Dragon clone, so they they have a few similarities, but they're quite different as well. The strengths of the deck, for one thing, it has, I would say, not a broken Vanguard, but definitely a very good Vanguard in Dragonic Kai's of Vermilion. It's default 11k. Its effect is limit break 4 counterblast 3 until the end of the turn. It gains plus 2000, and when it attacks, it battles everything in the front row, which means that your opponent has to guard for each card individually. So it's pretty much counterblast 3 to retire your opponent's front two rear guards, which can be a very useful effect. If something's annoying you, like a Silent Tom or something like that, then, you know, just to be able to get rid of it. If your opponent wants to guard it, then they'll have to guard quite a lot. And then you could get a trigger as well, so it's just a good effect. Also, it's default 11k, which is very good in the English meta at the moment, just because most decks have default 10. If you look at Gold Paladins and Lore Keepers, default 10, Spikes, they have default 10. So having a default 11 is a good defensive number, because it means that you'll have to guard for less if they have 20k columns. So I don't know, Gigantech boosted by the 8k, which is fairly common. Most clans can do that. If you have a default 11k like this, you can just guard for 10. So it functions quite nicely defensively, and it has a good effect. It has a Kagero-like ability to kind of invigilate your opponent's field by retiring, although this is less retiring orientated and more battle orientated. So Dragonic Death Scythe. Wow, I thought it was Dread Scythe. Allows you to retire back rows if they're annoying you. This one of the available starting Vanguards, you either use this or the one where you counterblast. Look at the top 5 out of grade 3. This is quite useful against Kagero, against Gold Paladins, if they're using the Azel Ride chain, Azel Superior Ride, and things like Spike Brothers as well, because their starting Vanguard is very important to their win condition. Things like Kagero Conra just gives it the consistency, same with Spikes. They need Mecha Trainer to consistently search Wonder Boy, and obviously Gold Paladins, the Azel Superior Ride can be very troublesome. So having this as an option to just snipe it out is pretty good. As well as that, they have stuff that can hit for decent numbers. Again, they're fairly battle orientated, so they have cards like this. It can only attack a Vanguard, is its continuous effect, and then if it's a rear guard and it attacks, if you have a Narukami Vanguard, it gains plus 2k, and if it's a Vanguard, if it attacks, it gains plus 4k. So obviously this can hit for quite a nice stat. functions as a nice backup Vanguard. Obviously you have Thunder Break, which gains plus 5k as its limit break, so standard limit break. So fairly battle orientated and stuff like this as well. Ryan and then Shiden. I don't like Shiden very much. I do have it, but I just don't like it all that much. Has a decent effect. So with its effect, you select one of your opponent's guys and then it can't intercept. So it's not amazing. Like with Kagero, you just retire it, but the decent thing about it is that it doesn't cause counterblast, and with the effect, basically it means that they have less to guard with. So in the closing stages of the game, it can prove crucial, especially if they're using stuff like a special intercept, where they are really only played just for that defensive value. Having an option like these, just to say, now you can't intercept, and then hitting for high numbers is always a good thing. So yeah, those are the strengths of the deck. Can hit for some high numbers, has a decent ability to control the field. It also has enough staples, like obviously you have your flash guard, but you know, it has like damage on flipper, which is extremely important actually. The damage on flipper is very good in this deck just because it's so counterblast heavy. The grade 3 that can swing for 12k, breakthrough dragon, they have that as well, so you know, quite a few nice things. Now, weaknesses of the deck. The first glaring weakness, and why it's probably inferior to Kagero, is that it has no kind of consistency engine, and by that I mean nothing searches anything in this clan besides the Spark Kid Dragoon, which can let you check top 5 for a grade 3. That's the only search ability that this deck has. So like with Kagero, Conro is so important just because it fetches any grade 1 you need, and the grade 1s are extremely crucial. If you need AK booster, you can search it. In this clan you would be able to search things like this. If you need to stop and intercept, you can search the AMO clone, search the guy who swings, who boosts for 10k. If you were playing Thunderbreak, you could search for Rai. All of that stuff is very important in Kagero and would be extremely important here. So with this clan, there's just no means to search anything, and you only have 4 draw triggers as well. So the consistency is an issue, just because you have no kind of search ability. You can't search anything out to make a certain part of the deck more consistent. You can't draw anything outside of the 4 draw triggers that you can play, and Helena, who's okay. So yeah, that's actually a very big problem with the deck, and why I would say Kagero is the better version. No, better clan. Also, the clan in general, it's pretty good, but so far it's kind of underwhelming. I mean, most of the time you'll just ride this, and then defending is fairly easy because of its 11k, but you'll just be kind of beating down. There's nothing that sets it apart from, say, Lawkeeper Kagero, which can do more or less the same thing. Obviously, Kaiser Vermilion just has a very good limit break, but that is a limit break that you'll be using once, at most twice per game. And again, if you compare it to something like Lawkeeper, which will be using its effect continuously, you will pretty much always have that column that's swinging for beyond 20k. It's just fairly inferior to a deck like that. So yeah, overall I would say that the clan is good. There's nothing particularly wrong with it. It's a decent clan. I like playing it. I've had good success with it so far. but there's better clans out there, namely Kagero. Kagero does what this deck does, but better. So, hopefully new support will change that. I've seen what has been confirmed so far. This is late August. I'm filming this, by the way, in case it goes up after that. And I don't really like any of it. It's all kind of mediocre. The 11k limit break is it's alright, but it isn't amazing. And all the other stuff is not that great either. So hopefully they'll just make something good that can give this clan a boost, because this clan does need something to just step it up to the level of other clans. But yeah, it's definitely good. Fairly cheap, I guess. These aren't that expensive, and I've picked these up for not cheap, but not bad, and then the rest is definitely cheap. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed. Hope maybe you've learned something about Narukamis from this video, and I'll see you around.